The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hi folks, today on Aging Horizons we're going to be talking with a SHIP counselor. You've heard us talk about SHIP counselors before. We think they're great and they're so important to the community and so important to you being empowered with information and assistance. It's going to be a great show with lots of good stuff that you're really going to want to remember, so please stay with us today.
Every 65 seconds, someone is affected with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Many become isolated at a time when help is most needed. If you or someone you love is affected, help is available, both for people with memory loss and their caregivers. Memory loss can feel frightening, but you are not alone. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
This is Bill. He just received his new Medicare card and is following some simple rules to protect himself from fraud. He knows to never give out his Medicare, Social Security, or bank number over the phone. And this is Nancy. She knows that to detect any problems, she always reads her Medicare summary notice or Medicare Advantage EOB to make sure the billing is correct. Both Bill and Nancy know that anything suspicious can be reported to Montana SMP at 1-800-551-3191.
45 years, 2 packs a day. That's like $80,000. I thought I was just hurting myself until I fell asleep in a chair with a cigarette. The whole house went up. I lost it all. I knew smoking was expensive, but I never thought it would cost me everything.
I've been shooting since I was young. It's something I've always enjoyed. I wasn't feeling like myself, but my friend noticed. He asked if he could hold onto my guns temporarily. At first, I was a little shocked, but then I agreed. I think he saved my life that day.
Hello everyone and welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services. I'm your host, Kimi Everman, and as I said, we have a SHIP counselor with us today. You know, what we've been doing over the last number of shows is trying to highlight some of our SHIP counselors around the state, and we've been able to just get a great variety of the folks that we have working with us. Today we have a SHIP counselor from the Roundup area, or Area 2 Agency on Aging, Murray Lou McElveen. Murray Lou!
Good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you? It's great to be here.
We're glad to have you. Did I get your name right?
Yeah, close.
Good, close enough. Thank you. Thank
There's
you.
a lot of letters there for everybody. Yeah.
Well,
so
we're absolutely thrilled that you could be with us. And I guess I'd like to start by just asking you to explain a little bit about the Area Agency on Aging system that you work within, because it's really a primary jumping off point for folks in a community.
It really is. I have been with the agency for just under a year, and so there are a lot of great SHIP counselors out there that have a lot more experience than I do, and I often defer to them or pull from them for energy and for knowledge to be able to share with our seniors and folks with disabilities. It's a great honor to be able to have this kind of job, and an agency on aging is truly geared towards helping our seniors and folks with disabilities prepare for life as we go through it. And there's a lot of steps as you approach 65 with the Medicare system. People see their income decrease or increase just depending on where they are in the retirement system. And there's just a lot that we want to be able to offer them. And the Area Agencies on Aging are a nonprofit agency designed by the state to address the many needs and concerns of all the persons within the regional or local areas. And Area 2 Agency on Aging actually serves 11 counties and 2 Native American reservations. And so it's a pretty big mileage space when you think about the size of Montana and how much area we cover. So we have, I believe, 23 senior centers that we serve, and again, our 2 Indian reservations, and that brings about its own set of challenges because there's just a lot to go, a lot to pack and unpack for our seniors. And that's what we do as SHIP counselors when it comes to the Medicare system and being able to offer information about Medicare reform and prescription drugs and supplemental insurance and long-term care insurance, all of those things that people think about as they age. And where do they go? They come to a AAA. They call an agency on aging. It is a nationwide program, including Dominican Republic and one other. And
Puerto Rico?
Thank you, Puerto Rico. And where's Montana? When you ask Puerto Rico, say the same thing. So we get along great that way. AAAs offer services that help older adults remain in their homes, which is really becoming more and more essential for families to discuss as we see the closing down of nursing facilities and other area assisted living places for people to go to. We want to make sure that there are programs in place for family members if they choose to stay in their home. And that's those are available through the Veterans Directed Program and Homemaker Services. Whatever assistance you or your family member may need, we want to be there to help answer those questions as a referral resource too, because not everything comes out of our little offices as area agencies on aging. We refer folks to the services they may need at that time in their lives.
So, Marie Lou, I know that there's kind of a core, 5 types of core services that you really work with on a daily basis. Can you talk about those a little bit?
I can. And again, these are services that we refer people to receive things such as home delivered and congregate meals. And congregate meals mainly means that you go to a place, a senior center, which so many lovely senior centers around our state. I just love getting to visit them. The food is always fantastic and meet so many new friends. Many of the agency or the senior centers play cards, play bingo. Some of them do stretch seat yoga while they're there before they go to lunch. And then many times after lunch, they stay and just visit with their friends. And so it's a really great time of community for many of our seniors. And that's an important service that we help provide through the senior centers. Also, we have different evidence-based health promotion programs, again, with the chair yoga. And some folks have dance classes where they're doing very gentle movement and dancing. And these are things that are provided through senior centers. And the agencies on aging are able to refer people to their local senior centers to go for such events. So that's pretty fun. Also, we have caregiver supports such as support groups, and there's the Montana Respite Program for our caregivers. Again, just an experience for a caregiver to be able to step away from that caregiving role and have somebody come in and take over a day. So maybe they can just go shopping alone, get their nails done, take care of other family business that maybe they just need a break from being a caregiver. And so those are some of the different services, the core services that we're involved in helping provide in the communities that we're in.
You know, Marie Lou, thank you so much for bringing context to this, because I think I often say, and I've said this for years, that our area agencies are sometimes one of the best kept secrets in town, and we want to make sure that everybody is well aware of what is in their community. And when we come back, we're going to talk more specifically about the kind of assistance folks can get with their Medicare. So you stay with us, okay? And folks, you stay with us, because we have a lot to tell you about the Medicare program or benefits and the SHIP program, and how the SHIP program can help you make the most of those benefits and make sure that you get all of them that you need because you earned them fair and square. Come on back.
Can you say ombudsman?
Ombudsman. Benson?
Uma Doodlesman? Fortunately, you don't have to say it right to get the help of a long-term care ombudsman. If you or a loved one reside in assisted living or long-term care, an ombudsman can help resolve any issue. And these services are completely free and confidential. Now, why don't you try that again?
Ombudsman! I was the last guy you'd expect to get diabetes. I was a competitive runner and I always took care of myself. So when I was diagnosed, it kind of threw me. But it's really encouraging to know I'm not alone with it. There are a lot of other people going through the same things as I am. It takes some effort. You have to keep after it. Exercise, meds, and diet are the key. But there are a lot of folks who want me to succeed. Diabetes is not the end of the world. With effort and attitude, you can have a normal life.
A decade of Montana fourth graders on Energy Share. If you're having trouble keeping your home warm this winter, Energy Share of Montana is here to help. We've helped thousands of Montanans who are having trouble paying their energy bills, and getting assistance from the friendly folks at Energy Share is only a phone call or Google search away. Energy Share is not a government program. It's neighbors helping neighbors who face energy emergencies. The Montana way. Call or visit our website today. Thanks to Energy Share, I'm cozy like a bear.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
Hi folks, welcome back to Aging Horizons. We're here with Mary Lou McKelvin, who is a SHIP counselor out of Area 2, which is in Roundup. Mary Lou, again, so glad you're here.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Really.
So, as I said in the last segment, I appreciate you putting things into context for our audience. But now let's get real specific and talk about SHIP and talk about Medicare and how those two things diverge, and how folks can find you and what you can do for them in terms of helping with Medicare. Take it away.
Oh, sure. So what we do as a SHIP counselor or state health insurance counseling program is we provide information, counseling, and assistance to Montana Medicare beneficiaries, family members, caregivers, and local professionals who have questions about the process of Medicare and when things will start to happen in your life if you are approaching the age of 65, or you are an individual with a disability who is going to switch possibly from Medicaid into Medicare. Those are very important program. It's a very important program to watch the timeline on because things are time specific. Social Security will start sending individuals their Medicare card up to 3 months prior to their 65th birthday. And then there's a couple of actions that the Social Security administration asks you to do regarding your Medicare about Part B, and if you want to be on a Part D drug plan. Those are the different things. And it's overwhelming. I got to admit, I'm not quite there yet, but what I've seen from many of our beneficiaries, which is our clientele, they call with questions because it's just overwhelming. And as a SHIP counselor, we many times invite them now that we're over the COVID concerns, we invite them into the office, sit down with them, go through what is happening on the administrative side of turning 65. And many times we have a Medicare 101 or a get to know Medicare or turning 65. Do you know what you need to be doing? And kind of evening where we invite folks in to learn about what they'll need to be doing. And so as a SHIP counselor, we are trained throughout the state to work with people on Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security insurance, and other related fields such as SNAP for the food assistance, as well as LIHEAP, which is the low energy, low income heating, energy, and assistance program.
Great.
And we're still taking applications to get those up to HRDC for folks. There are just so many things that your SHIP counselor can help you with that again, many people in their communities don't know that that's available to them. And you can Google that information. And once you see that 1-800 number out there, you can call it. And we can help you with the forms that need to be filled out for different programs, as well as just explain and walk through what might be available to you as an individual with certain income levels. There are helping programs that we can help you look at. And of course, we have a lot of sponsors out there that help the SHIP programs as far as funding goes for those efforts that we have in the state.
Right, and I think, again, thank you for that context, Marie Lou, because it is really overwhelming at the beginning. Another part of that, maybe you could speak to, is that there's more people that are continuing to be employed after they're on Medicare and Social Security. Do you see that happening?
Yes, very much so. We see a lot of people, one, because the new 65 is the new 55.
Yeah.
And so we're not quite ready. We're active. We're out there. We're in our communities. We're volunteering. We're doing different things. We're doing things differently. They are the generation coming up of folks that didn't necessarily have, or they were stay-at-home moms, and now they're getting older and they want to be able to do something for their community. Many times it's volunteering, and other times it is taking on a little job to be out in the community as well, because we all know that when you are working, you feel the value of the life you're able to give back to others in service. And many seniors aren't ready to give that up and garden. I don't garden, so that's not going to be a thing for me. I'll work until they say, go home.
Right, and I think
go home, Marie Lou.
It's important to remember that if you are continuing to be employed, you may have health benefits at your job that
Absolutely.
need to be coordinated with Medicare. How do you guys work with that?
That's a really good point to bring up, because if somebody has what's called creditable insurance, then they do not necessarily need to start with their Part B, which takes from your Social Security to pay that premium. And so we truly want people to consider that if they are already receiving insurance through their employer and getting their prescription, they have a prescription plan through their employer, there's no reason for them to pick up a Part D or a Part B plan until that creditable insurance is no longer available to them, which could be, they could be 72 and still be working full time and receiving insurance benefits. And so there's no penalty. And again, we want to remind people that if you are approaching 65, we want you to look at your Part B plan as well as your Part D plan, because if you don't pick it up within the 7 months, 3 months before and 3 months after your you turn 65, you will be penalized for the rest of your life. And it seems like a little deal, but it's not. It's kind of a big deal as you age to have that tacked on there. So we really, as SHIP counselors, want to make sure that you have the information that's going to necessarily give you the choices that you need to think about.
Thank you, Marie Lou, because some of this has to be in advance. So, folks, we have a lot more to talk about. Come on back.
Respite. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. Will you provide it?
The hard part about having outside help is that there's not a lot of people out there who can do that kind of work. We've been very fortunate that our Bonnie has been with us for 7 years. I don't know what I'd do without her. I need her in our lives. She's our second mother. And I can't help but think of her that way.
To find out how to change lives, including your own, call 800-224-6034 or visit respite.mt.gov.
Did you just text me?
I didn't want to disturb you if you were sleeping.
Sleeping? I'm sitting right next to you, silly.
There you are. Hey, I found a couple of Medicare helping programs online that I think we ought to look into.
It says if we qualify, we can get help paying for our prescription drugs. Oh, and there's a program that can help pay our Part B premium.
To learn more about extra help and Medicare savings programs, call your local SHIP counselor today.
Maybe I better text him.
I have so many questions about power of attorney.
Well, some powers of attorney are for finances and others are for healthcare decisions.
A power of attorney designates an agent who would make decisions on your behalf.
While making a power of attorney, you have the ability to control your agent's power.
You also have the ability to decide when that POA would take effect.
Wait, am I giving away all my rights?
Power of attorney isn't a license to make any decision for you, just those that you've specified.
Your agent should be somebody that's working in your best interest, but it should also be somebody that you would trust.
What if they try to abuse their power?
Protective measures like third-party accounting, secondary signatures, defined spending and gifting limits can help protect against financial exploitation. An agent's powers can always be limited by a customized power of attorney, and they can be revoked by you or the court if the power of attorney is abused.
So carefully drafted estate planning documents can help ensure that your finances are monitored, but not abused.
If you or someone you know is being exploited, please report to Aging Services Bureau at 844-277-9300 or the Legal Service Developer at 1-800-332-2272. This message sponsored by the DPHHS Aging Service Bureau.
Hi folks, welcome back to Aging Horizons. We're here with Mary Lou McElvin, a ship counselor out of the Roundup area, and we're talking about ship counseling and other kinds of assistance you might get from that area agency on aging. And now we're going to talk about something really, really important, and that's those helping programs. Huh, Mary Lou?
Yes, definitely.
Why don't you go ahead and kind of explain what we mean when we're talking about helping programs?
Absolutely. As you get ready to retire, you may notice that your Social Security is not bringing in the same amount of money that you were bringing in as a full-time employee or somebody who got to work hourly and did overtime, and or you may be an individual who was a stay-at-home mom, and therefore your Social Security is a lot less than what it may have been, what you may have thought it was going to be. And so the budget dollars aren't necessarily there to make your budget. And so Medicare has put together helping programs with the help of state Medicaid programs. And these are called Medicare savings programs. And if we can do anything for you at SHIP, that is to look at how we can save you money. And that's always exciting for anybody in today's world living on our budgets with gas money and the price of groceries. And so these Medicare savings programs, they're shortened for QIMBY, SLIMBY, and QI. But what you really need to know is based on your income, you may be eligible to have your Medicare Part A and B premiums, deductibles, as well as coinsurance taken care of by Medicaid, assisting Medicare in the state, between the state and federal. And Medicaid is state, so if you move from one state to another state, you must secure that in the new state and discontinue it in the previous state. They cannot jump states. However, Medicare is federal, and so Medicare is nationwide. And that's one of the great things about Medicare is if you are traveling to see your grandchildren or your children in other states, you're actually able to get medical care if you should need to, if you are on original Medicare. But those Medicare savings programs are available to our individuals with lower incomes. And those income limits and resource limits are what are really important and should truly be the first question that a SHIP counselor asks, because you could get through an entire interview as a SHIP counselor with an individual and find out that they have a $50,000 CD. And that's going to cause a hiccup. And we don't want hiccups when we're applying for these helping programs. So you want to bring that all out to your SHIP counselor. And the income limits vary and they change year to year. But right now we're looking at, if you are an individual making less than $1,133, you can actually receive what's called QIMBY, Qualified Medical Benefits. And those benefits include paying for your Part A, your Part B premiums, as well as deductibles and coinsurance. And then we move into the drug programs and what's available there and helping you with those drug premiums or copays. There's also the SLIMBY program, which is an individual with $1,359 or less in income, and they are eligible for their Part B premium. Now, anybody knows if somebody comes along and says to you, I'm going to take $164.10 out of your paycheck, we all kind of go a little ballistic because what's that even for? That's your Part B, and that will come out of your Social Security directly when you turn 65 if you choose to have Part B because you don't have the creditable insurance. So once you have Part A and B, but your income is lower than $1,359, you are eligible for that program that covers that Part B premium. So we get that back into your Social Security check. So it's a very important program. It starts the month the application was submitted. And if you're approaching 65 and you think you might be one of those folks, be sure to call your SHIP counselor and see if you qualify. The last one is called QI, and that means that if your income is $1,529, and I am speaking about individuals, but the couple dollar amount does go up. So know that if you are a couple, it is a different amount, and we can discuss that as your SHIP counselor.
But they should try. They should try, right?
Try. Always try. Always try. But we want you to bring it forward. Your car and your home don't count. And but again, if you have savings, if you have CDs, if you have bonds and stocks and things like that, you worked for those things. This is the time of your life in which you use those things. And sometimes that's hard for us to understand because we work so long to have them and now you want us to cash them in. Woo, that's a little scary. Yeah. I always think that's scary, but it's the time of your life that you live on those.
And Mary Lou, we just have a couple of minutes left in this segment. Can we talk about the low income subsidy for Part D?
Absolutely. The low income subsidy for Part D is called Extra Help. And if your income is under $18,587, you can receive the benefit of the Part D premium up to $38 being covered. And so you don't have a premium for your Part D drug program, as well as it can give you an average savings of up to $5,000 a year. And that is a great savings if you are somebody who is on a lot of medications for different health concerns. So we really, really encourage you to ask us about those Extra Help programs with Medicare. And there's also Big Sky RX that assists with the Part D Part drug program. So please, we do ask that you call your SHIP counselor, get involved, get to know them, have them get to know you, and find out if you're eligible for benefits.
Mary Lou, it's just been wonderful having you with us today. You brought just some absolutely great information. Thanks so much for all you do in your community. And I agree, everybody needs to call their SHIP counselor. We're going to run that number across the screen so that you can see again how to get a hold of your area agency on aging. Thanks so much, Mary Lou. It's been good talking to you.
Thank you so much, Kimmy. It's been great to be here.
Sure thing. Now, folks, remember 1-800-551-3191. That's how you get your local area agency on aging and hook up to a SHIP counselor. For Aging Horizons, I'm Kimmy Everman, and thanks for being with us.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.